Hello everyone and welcome back to another altered video. Something a little bit different. We've got a new deck to showcase on the channel today with Akesha and Taru. I was talking about this one in the comments of the last video, but before we really get stuck into Skybound Odyssey and what that set can do for the decks that we normally play, taking a bit of a detour. So I thought we'd try and showcase something a little bit different. I've done my best to recreate a deck that beat me while I was testing some older decks for different heroes, and this was the list that I landed on. Um, so the main point of this deck is to try and cycle through, the entire thing and get to a point where you're shuffling back your discard pile into your deck every turn or so. So you can try and lock out the game with Celebration Days, push your opponent back with the Sakurabaru's Fury, the one new addition from Skybound Odyssey, and win the game with your Silas Cryptic Warlocks because you have a ridiculous amount of cards in hand and your opponent doesn't. The game that I played, we got to the late game and my opponent ended up just making it so that I could not advance at all by casting a Celebration Day every turn. And the turns where they knew they could beat me, they were just dropping the Silas and he had like 15 or so power. It was completely ridiculous. I think by the end of the game we had like 18 to 20 mana each. Made it very easy for him to draw, play a Celebration Day, or draw, play a Silas. So, to that effect, I've played a few cards that aren't super common in lists. So we've got a bunch of rares that I haven't really seen a lot of previously. The Celebration Days and Aether Shards are ways to slow the game down. So if you ever cast a Celebration Day on your way to your win condition, the Aether Shard basically just makes it so you draw a card for 8 mana. Big fan of that, and obviously you waste whatever resources your opponent was using as well. And we've just got some stat efficient creatures to try and slow the game down. So 2 Tooth Fairies, 3 Baba Yagas, 3 Studious Disciples, those are all pretty common in purple lists. The Baba Yagas in particular, specifically to make it so that you can draw cards while still affecting the board. The Disciples make your Celebration Days and all your spells a lot cheaper, and Tooth Fairies just stop your opponent from using stuff out of reserve as normal. But the Monolith Archivists, the Sinisses and the Chrysalises are all designed to try and slow the game down. Chrysalis at the common rarity is actually mana inefficient for the stats you get out of it, but then you get the Moth next turn, so you can try and play around that and hope that you can slow your opponent down with the bonus 2 points that you've got on one side. Sinissa in particular is good because if you're behind, as you would in theory expect to be, she can just advance. So hopefully she's good. The Archivist is just a big old fat booty to stick in front of whatever it is that your opponent plays for 2 mana. A lot of draw in this deck, so 3 from the Baba Yaga, 3 from the Silas makes 6, 7, 8, 9 from Reinforcements, 10, 11, 12 from the Magical Training, 13, 14 from the Conjuring Seal, and then 2 from the Aether Shard as well, makes 16 instances of card draw, 2 of which are repeatable, and then the Scholar's Vaults as well, just to keep stuff around that you might be able to use at some point. Bit of a meme. So we've gone all in on that, and we're playing a uniqueless deck. So this one you could likely pick up for, as a budget option before you get any special gold cards. I'm sure the deck could be made to be better with gold cards, but I didn't really have any that fit the brief. I suppose we could have just cycled stuff around like we normally do with Afanis and Senka, but, we're just going to get into it. What I'm worried about is tempo lists. sort of just beating us before we get to the point where we can slow the game down with the celebration days. Also, big fat creatures as well. They play really poorly into celebration day because if your opponent, uses up all their mana on one big thing, it will stop the game. But if you don't have exactly that in hand, you don't really have an answer. So, off you go. In Evanescence, the 4 removal spells that we're running can't really hit anything above 3 mana efficiently, and anything over 5 is just absolutely going to stick out there. So you're better off maybe using a Sakurabra's Fury to turn a 0 for 2 functionally into a 0 for 1. Still not great, but decks that can get underneath us are going to be the ones that we're going to watch out for. Anything that sort of plays slow and gives us a little bit of time to set up and draw and can't interact with our Aether Shards is going to hopefully sort of just lose out, when we've got more options than them. So, everything basically tries to cycle through. The Aether Shards, the Conjuring Seals are ways to get ahead, and then that's pretty much it. So we're going to crack on, see how we go. Whoever it is that my opponent was that made the game a bit miserable, hate your guts, but also thank you for the inspiration. So let's see how we do. See you in game 1. Alright, and here we are with game 1 of Akesha and Taru. New deck on the channel. Big fan of that. Ziggy Stardust, an homage to the early days zigzag decks of this hero. Kojo and Buddha, so it's going to be an aggro list. We're probably not going to have time to set up our engines the way we want to. And this is a pretty rough hand to start off with. Silas is one of the better cards we can keep. Probably say bye to the Scholar's Vault and the Chrysalis as well. Doesn't actually block the Buddha token that they're going to have. Nor does the Baba Yaga. We're likely to play that out, so odds are we're going 0 for 2 here. Unless they play out a landmark, I guess. I will warn you, I do not know how well I recreated the deck that steamrolled me in about 35 minutes, I'd say. So I don't know if you count that as a steamroll, but hopefully I came somewhat close. Alright. Gonna drop the Baba Yaga. Hope we don't see a tiny Djinn out of our opponent, because that's going to make our life a little bit harder. But at least the way things stand now, we are getting one back. Keep us within range of our opponent. I was also worried about a Fire Rabbit there. Boosted the Serengar so he wouldn't have advanced. Gives it fleeting so they draw the card straight away. Yeah, they got a lot of scary one-drops in Bravos. Not so much with this deck. Maybe we need more of them. Who knows? Not me. That's what we're trying to figure out. Alright, 2 Silases. So we could play Archivist against their Serengar and Evanescence on whatever else they play. Scholar's Vault. I think we'll get rid of one of the Silases here. Gives us the most options with our 1, 2, 3, 4 2-drops. Alright, this is a good spot for an After You, I think. Lets us play things on the opposite sides to what they want to. So we could Baba Yaga Evanescence. But Mana Eruption is good if they haven't ramped. So we could trade 1 for 1 here, get a Scholar's Vault into play. Doesn't really help us because The only spell we've got isn't actually in reserve. Four, two. Yeah, this is a good spot to throw away the Evanescence. Let them draw their card, but we do even everything up. That one can sort of just live in there for a while. Does give us the spell in reserve clause for Scholar's Vault, if we can get it into play. Off you go, Aether Shard. Do we just take the 2 for nothing here to get our Aether Shard into play? Probably not in the face of the Mana Eruption. We'll have 5 mana, so we can only play 2 cards at most. I think we'll keep the Aether Shard and get rid of the Vault here. Although the Vault would have been good as a target for removal with the Eruption, I don't think they're going to want to put themselves back 1 mana and spend 3 to get rid of something and only cost us 2. As much as ripping through the deck would have been good here. Haven Warrior. What does that do for us? I think it's fine to drop the Aether Shard here because they're tapped out of Mana Eruption. So we draw the card, we get an extra 1 next turn. Gives us an opportunity to look at Sabotage, Sakurabru's Fury. Cool looking card, kind of want copies in foil. Fire Rabbit. Alright, so they're going to have to get rid of a card here anyway, likely to be the Fire Rabbit. But they might get rid of the Eruption. I doubt it. But we've got 3 looks at a Tooth Fairy. They do just get rid of it. Good on them. Proud of them. Love that for them. Celebration Day. We did get the Tooth Fairy, so we can actually sabotage the Haven Warrior here. But I might actually sabotage the Fire Rabbit. Represents 2 power in brown, and we can off you go. Off you go. Archivist Tooth Fairy is 6 mana. So Silas Celebration Day. Field Reinforcements. We are behind on both. Taking that 0 for 2, not too bad in the face of that one. I think we're going to Tooth Fairy and get rid of the Fire Rabbit. If they want to play out the Haven Warrior, it uses more mana. So we've got better information with which to make our decisions. Swift Gin ramping them. Ain't too bad an idea. They will ramp. We'll after you. If they want to play out the warrior, they can. Straight into our waiting arms with the off you go. Interesting choice. So we could block them with the Archivist and field reinforcements. Which actually might be reasonable. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. So we can't advance on that side. They have to pass. A fact of which we are stoked. About which we are stoked. Sorry, it's been a long day. We snap off the field reinforcements. Alright, another Aether Shard. We'll pass. We are unable to... This may be our last opportunity actually to take a 2 for nothing. But we do have the Sakuraba's Fury. Field reinforcements, also a good pickup. So what do we get rid of? We have to get rid of something. I think it has to be the Aether Shard. Just a bit late for that card. Ugh, 2 field reinforcements. Got rid of that one. Could have still had the Aether Shard as an option. So we could field Archivist Disciple. That's 7 mana. Sakuraba's Fury. I think the least committal thing to do here is the field reinforcements. So we'll invoke the recruit, we'll drop it on the hero side, so if we want to off you go to get rid of this warrior, we can still advance. Another Sakuraba's Fury. Interesting. They represent 5 mana channeling. Okay. We'll block them on the Buddha side. So if they want to beat us there, they'll have to play something out, and then we can off you go Disciples for next turn. Duel of Grit. What are they getting rid of? Okay, we can still trade 1 for 1 if we go Disciples Field Reinforcements. That only leaves the 2 cards in reserve. Still no Celebration Day. Yeah, no way to block them on both sides. So I think we'll do that while the getting's good. If we do advance on the companion side here, like I intend to. Oh, no. Nope, changed my mind. Forgot we're not playing Aphanis and Senka for a second there. I thought we got the boost on the recruit token. That's fine. Alright, we'll send the off you go, because the Evanescence is now better. With the 3 arcane counters on it, can get rid of a 5 drop. That's far too many Sakuraba Rift's Furies. We're 1 mana short of Furying plus Silas. We've got one more look at a Celebration Day, which I think we just fire off if we get it. It's already one. Oh, we did get it. Okay. So what we're going to do here is Studious Disciples. Use the support ability and play Magical Training. If the server reconnects. There we go. Try and get them to commit as many cards to the board as possible. Swift Jin ramps them. We're okay with that. Get him to use another card. Probably the warrior here. But we do have 8 mana. So we could actually, the After You opens up another option for us. So we get rid of the warrior, and then whatever's remaining on their 3 mana here, we actually just drop the Silas in front of it anyway. 3. Yeah. On the companion side. So we'll draw the card first, as usual. Off you go is pretty good here. 14 cards left in deck. We've got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in the graveyard. We are pretty short on creatures here. We get the token from field reinforcements. Would like to play the Conjuring Seal, but the Magical Training might have to be enough. So 9 means we could Sakurabi's Fury and Silas. I'll find a bunch of other things to do as well. Field reinforcements would look good. Field Magical Conjuring is 6 plus 2. Off you go. So we've got heaps of options here. But I don't want to go too far down on creatures. I think at this point in the game, we just have to be a little bit patient, see what they want to do. Do they have Sabotage to get rid of our Silas? They do not. We shall Magical Training. They did show us the Mana Eruption, so we got to think of that. Duel of Grit's also a bit scary unless we're playing Silas. That's the good thing about him. They're just dropping it on that side, which is interesting. What do we want to do here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I think we just drop the Silas. It becomes a 9-9. 9. Always forget the third one. Magic players represent. Linnean Hydra. Alright, do we just take this as an opportunity to draw some cards then? We've got the Sakurabaru's Furies, can't play that here. Field Reinforcements, Baba Yaga. Studious Disciples, Magical Training. Yeah, I think that's the best play. So if we use the Magical Training, it's pretty free. The Archivists are pretty useless at this point in the game. They're mostly for early game. And then we drop a Disciples to go into reserve, so we've got access. Alright, everyone's close. Didn't think the Hydra would be the card they played. Obviously wasn't thinking of that one, but it is very obviously something to do. We're now ahead on the companion side, so Field Reinforcements is slightly more cheeks. But we are exactly where we want to be. Alright, Field's not going to do anything for the remainder of the game. We'll use the support ability like we did last time. Play a Magical Training for free, plays around Sabotage. Tooth Fairy. Do they drop the Hydra straight away? If they don't, they are stuffed. All these defender creatures are mucking up our hand, but they make our Siluses bigger. One Silas in mana, one Silas in the graveyard means with the next 5 cards we've got one. So we could try digging for it. I think if they give us the opportunity, we will okay, the Pathfinder means nothing to us now. Five mana. So if we drop the Sakurabaru's Fury, we actually get no value. We can't play the Celebration Day yet. I don't believe we can contest. So what I think we do... forgot our hero's ability. I'm going to use After You, see what they want to get done. Won't be the Pathfinder, so we've got a target to sabotage, which is fine. And then if we Tooth Fairy Celebration Day, we can rip through a bit more of our deck. Or we can double Sakurabaru's Fury, that's pretty funny too. That's alright. We'll Tooth Fairy away the Pathfinder. And then whatever our opponent does with their last remaining card. Physical Training. We'll drop a Celebration Day. So there's one in the graveyard, one in mana. So we shall pass the turn here. We are getting close. So we've got a Silas. We like that. They mana. We will also mana. Yeah. We'll get rid of the Sunissa here. Only need one of those for her effect. Chrysalis is not a good card. Conjuring Seal. Draw 2 cards. That does get us through the last 2 cards in our deck. Okay, so we're trying to outlast our opponent. So we want to use Off You Go here. Probably, we could use Baba Yaga. Probably better to use a Conjuring Seal. So 4 mana. So we've got 7 to use that aren't Silas. I think we Conjuring Seal here. Second Off You Go is fruitful. 1 drop in the Studious Disciple also appealing. Get rid of the Conjuring Seal, we're okay with that. We now Off You Go. Haven Bouncer. Physical Training to draw a card. We can't use the Sakurabaru's Furies here. Off you go the Buddha token as well, that's fine. We'll see what they want to do with their remaining 3 mana. I think if they use the 3-drop and then get rid of something, we can block with the 2 Archivists instead of Silas. Four, 2, 4. Okay. What does that mean for us? Does sort of mean we're out of luck here. Because we can't actually stop a tiebreaker scenario, but we can at least get that extra Silas into our deck. So if we Baba Yaga Disciple, we challenge in the tiebreaker. Yeah, that's alright. At least we know what we can do here. It is guaranteed. We got the second Silas as well. We'll be going first, so we can use the After You or the other random crap we want to use. Linnaean Hydra. That's the card I'm worried about because We have no answer to it. Why did we keep the Tooth Fairy? That's alright, it probably won't matter. Since magical training, we'll send a Sakuraba's Fury. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So each of our Siluses represents 27 stats. 36 is a Linnaean Hydra. It'll be 39 if they put in an extra mana. We can't get rid of it because we don't have Evanescence. Celebration Day is completely useless to us. Though, 1, 2, 3, 4. These will be good for our remaining mana. So this just cares about stats in the tiebreaker. So defender means nothing. And we can get... Oh, we messed up. We left stats on the board. Should have played out the Silas before we'd played Old Mate. Played the Archivist instead of Silas second. I messed up the wording on that. Anyway, should have played the Silas first. Duel of Grit doesn't hit it. They can Mana Eruption it, but, you know, it doesn't affect their board either. Drop an After You at this point and see what they want to do. Physical training. If they'd had a Linnaean Hydra, they would have done it, so we're probably good here. Can't Evanescence. Can drop the Archivist. Still probably a good idea for them to get rid of them if they have it. Each one of ours represents 9 for 2 mana though. There you go, perfect symmetry. Draw a card. Our Silas is one smaller unfortunately, so it's not perfect symmetry. We'll see what they can do with their remaining mana. And we did it. Alright, pretty happy with that one. Deck sorta did what it wanted to. Victory lap. See what we got with our last card. Field Reinforcements. Cheeks. That's alright. There you go. Proof of concept. Alright, here we are with game number 2. Akesha and Taru. Locked in, ready to go. Hopefully the game loads. Ew. That's a lot of red. We're going first against an Asadian Surge. Alright, so we're probably going to have a bit of time to sculpt. Figure out what we want to do. Silas is one of the better cards we have against red. Archivist, Sinissa, it's probably too many Silases. Oh, Sinissa might be good. I don't want to just get rid of the Silases because then late game we won't be able to cycle through them. Probably just the Aether Shard. Alright. Playing first, good here. Instantly just fire off that After You, see what they want to do. Swift Djinn would be nice, so we can get a bit of value out of our field reinforcements. Of course, we're behind on mana, so that's a bit of a risk, but that's what we're hoping for. Tiny Djinn. Alright, we're going to do the field reinforcements, draw our card. Behind of Tide. We'll make our Ordis recruit. What are we expecting to see out of our opponent? Haven Seringar would do it. So if it's a Seringar, we're mostly going to want to drop it on the companion side, but if they have a Fire Rabbit, we're going to want to drop it on the hero side. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch a tiger by the toe. If he hollers, let him go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Alright, companion side it is. And we'll draw a card. One drop. Damn. So close to greatness. Rage. 2 boosts and flee. Damn. We picked wrong. That's alright though. You know? Had no way to know what they had in hand. Could have been Rage, could have been the Rabbit, the Seringar. I figured, given the number of options they had at 2 mana, couldn't really make an educated enough decision. Baba Yaga and Sunissa are the only things we'll be able to drop here. We'll keep Silas. I think we're going to get rid of one of our 3 drops. Sunissa might be the one. Just blocks them off. But if they play out on the companion side, we will get to advance anyway. See what they want to do with their mana. Mighty Djinn, perfectly reasonable from them. If they don't have a 1-drop, Silas actually blocks them off. So we'll draw our card first, as always. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do we get 1 back? No, another copy of Rage. That's fine. These are going to be less good from reserve. So we are, developing some sort of advantage on the board. Does keep field reinforcements good for next turn. So field reinforcements plus Sunissa, or off you go plus Sunissa. Both looking really good here. Our opponent is taking their time passing with no mana. That's fine, it's a free country. Alright, Tooth Fairy looks poor here against the Rages. Can't cut him off from anything that they wouldn't be able to do after the fact anyway. So we could look at Sunissa and field reinforcements. Off you go and Conjuring Seal. Got a lot of options here. What we're hoping to see is a creature that we can off you go, and then field reinforcements for our draw. Suppose they could use their Rage as a 2 mana after you, Amarok. Alright, Well, we don't have a way to get rid of that. So we'll drop the field reinforcements first. Tide. Invoke the recruit on the companion side. Magical training will be good here, because it'll let us see what they want to do. We keep the off you goes in our hand, which boosts our eventual copy of Silas again. We could have got away with using the Conjuring Seal there, but hindsight is 2020, so we can't be too mad about that. Now, one of the lessons we can take from the game we played previously is that we held on to too many of these defender creatures. So these are good early game when you're trying to slog through and grind. I'm thinking Sakurabaru's Fury is the cut here, so we've got access to more creatures if we need them. Ben Satan. So they draw a card off of its Sadi. And we're going to drop the Silas on this side. Gets 6 boosts, threatens the Benza. Perfectly reasonable from them. But we don't actually mind. We're trying to play a long game anyway. So they've double ramped. We're not using all of our mana as it is. 1 extra mana for the Conjuring Seal would have been really nice there. But we take what we can get. 2 turns until Celebration Day is online. So if they, even if they double advance tomorrow, we'll still get a chance to use that one. No draw off of her is good for us. Scholar's Vault will get rid of one of these archivists. These off you goes are looking pretty foolish at the moment. I think there's no reason not to use the After You here. See what they want to do with their mana. Interesting. We can drop a Sinissa on the hero side and advance. And also draw 2 cards. A little bit foolish from us. Could have used the magical training, kept a card in hand. We'll get rid of the Conjuring Seal here. Alright, so Sinissa's Defender is engaged here, so we can't actually advance with her as a sneaky. Tooth Fairy looks foolish, but I think the off you goes are the way to get rid of cards at the moment. Odds are they're not going to be playing that many small creatures anymore. Really, the only one we've actually seen that we could hit was the tiny Djinn. I suppose we could expect some number of Haven Bouncers or something to sabotage, but they might just be all gas, no brakes. We'll see what they want to do. They got 5 cards, we've got 8 plus 2 in reserve. We are ripping through our deck a little bit quicker. Tiny Djinn. Alright, it's an interesting one, and I think we're going to be patient here in Magical Training. No celebration day just yet. And I'm wondering if some number of these defender creatures could be something like a Hathor. You know, recycling cards here would be pretty cool to see. Off You Go does not hit Aya. However, we can... What can we get done if we defend on both sides? So we could... If we had a way to make them pass, we could Off You Go Tooth Fairy. So I think what we do is we Sunissa to block this side. Passes. Off You Go the Tiny Djinn. Now that they've passed. And Tooth Fairy it out. That's a cool little line there. I liked that. Obviously, our opponent giving us the option there. Not likely to come up that often. Could have done other things as well. Scholars vaulted, kept some more cards in, but I like winning here. You know, make them panic a little bit. Magical Training and Tooth Fairy, I think, are the choices. Don't have any ways to recycle cards out, but this will be fine. I think Evanescence is just going to be too hard to keep in. This matchup isn't necessarily about removal. I think we Scholars Vault here. Take that as an opportunity. We'll see what they want to play out. And then we've got the After You in our back pocket as well. Never noticed how cute Taru is. Looks so grumpy. I thought he was a happy little guy for the longest time, but he means business. Studious Disciple Magical Training puts an extra card in hand. But it means we won't be able to Celebration Day today. So I think we after you. If our opponent wants to sabotage the Disciple, it's going to give us a target for off you go anyway. Yeah, I think we've played too many of these defender creatures. Alright, they've given us a target, so we're going to take it. Unfortunately, Evanescence would have been pretty spicy here. Get rid of the Tracer, no clicks required. Can we block them? We actually can with Sinissa and Archivist, but we get rid of a lot of cards that way. Actually think, given the state of the game, we're better off giving them a spot here. That would have been really, really good to get into play this turn. And we'll just pass. Give them a free expedition. Even everything up. Eight plus 5 is 13, so 2 turns from now we can Celebration Day drop the Aether Shard into play. This turn we could... Oh, actually, we could do both. This turn, if we Studious Disciple the Celebration Day, or we could Celebration Day Sakurabu's Fury, push him back one, probably not ideal. So we'll drop the Aether Shard, Magical Training, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 3 plus 4. Our opponent just passed. So we'll draw our card and actually go ahead again. And then Magical Training. Alright, not too mad about that one. Celebration Day. Alright, so we're only running 2 of those in the deck. Which means if we put one in mana, it's going to be a one of in however many cards it is that we cycle through. I think we get rid of these 2. Scholar's Vault looks good to push away here. "13 mana means that we can Fury in Celebration Day. We'll see. Could expect the hunger out of our opponent here. We won't get to play him if they do drop a hunger. Studious Disciples will get discarded if we play it. So I think we actually just drop Chrysalis here and see what our opponent wants to do with that. Kaori's intervention cuts them down from the hunger. Okay, 4 plus 5 is 9 plus 1. It's less than 11. Expeditions are not behind, so we're going to draw a card here and see what they want to do with their remaining mana. Because as it stands, we will actually advance if we can drop Silas here. And if they do something terrifying, we're not too worried about it. I think they have Duel of Grit in hand. That's what they're looking to build towards. So I think we play around that. And we'll pass. Okay, Leviathan Spotter is a funny one. Our cards have been reshuffled back into our deck here, and we've got to get rid of one thing. I think the Chrysalis is the choice here. Conjuring Seal looks good. Studious Disciple looking spicy in the reserve. We could have played out another one potentially. Had access to 2 of those. Got rid of one of these other spells. Get rid of the Sunisa. Continue to ramp. Magical Training's pretty good. What do you got for me, bro? The Hunger. Scary. Support ability. Magical Training. We've seen this one often enough. We're pretty okay with this. I'm wondering if License Withdrawal might be a good card for this deck, actually. How many boosts you got? 9. Can we beat that? Can we target them? See what they want to do with their remaining mana. That's perfectly fine. I'll drop a Studious Disciple over here to threaten and get them to play something else out there. Alright, no more hiding it. We actually want to get it into the bin. If I'm fleeting, I'm gigantic. It's a shame you will not get into play. There's the Silas we're looking for as well. Sunissa is too much mana. We've got better options at 3 and cheaper options. Get rid of the hunger. Do you have another one? Eat me energy bars. That means it's a Sakurabri coming out. So we use this guy. Draw a couple extra cards. Still a Silas in there. So if we draw 2 more cards, we could actually draw the Silas again. We'll use the after you now in order to play around whatever it is that they need. 3. Play Baba Yaga, magical training. Now we're really starting to loop through cards. The more we have in hand, the less we're going to have in the graveyard to cycle through, which makes our lines more predictable. So we can Silas here, draw a card, see what we get. Sakurabri's Fury, then Conjuring Seal. Chrysalis, off you go, pass the turn. One, two, three, 4. I think we actually want the magical training in the graveyard now, so that if we do rip through our deck, we get more of those. Put something into mana. Field reinforcements feels like it's not going to be that great. We'll see what they want to do. 17 mana to 16. Sakurabru, perfectly reasonable. I guess we'll just keep ripping through our deck. We may just be in a situation where we're both playing out stuff that pushes the other player back. Which is funny, because this may be the world's longest game of Altered now. Target character makes expedition loses fleeting. Alright, we might get some value out of the Archivist here. See what they want to get done. We've got the 2 Furies in hand, so we can actually bounce them back. It costs us 10 mana to do what it costs them to do for 7. But we'll just keep going. We'll see if we can figure this one out. It is feeling a little bit stupid now. Drop the Chrysalis as well. Sakurabru's Fury. Push them back again. And then we'll pass. Get rid of all these cards. Chrysalis we're actually trying to get rid of. The Off You Go is the option here. We're just going to keep looping through like this until one of us figures out how to win. So you may get comfy, make a cup of cocoa, pull up a blanket. I'm not even worried about just using 2 mana to draw cards here. We've got 1 Silas in there, which means there should be 1 more in our next 3 cards, so we should be able to find that. Still far too many cards in our graveyard to loop through, but this is kind of the point of the deck, I guess. We are going to play... We'll play a field reinforcer. We'll play a Studious Disciples. Keep our options open, just in case that extra mana comes in handy. Oh my lordy. 3rd Sakurabru. Very thankful that we did not play the Aether Shard out. And we get a Silas. So there's 1 Tooth Fairy in the graveyard, 1 in mana. And do we have... we got a 50% chance. We've got a 50% chance of drawing a Celebration Day. We did it. I have no idea what we did, but it's been done. Oh my god. It's the worst game ever. Alright. If our opponent is smart, they're going to get rid of one of their Sakurabrus. Yeah, that's fine. I think our win condition is to just have every card remaining in our deck in hand, including the Silases. Try and just win there. 20 mana. What do we want to get rid of? We're going to keep up because we want to get rid of cards that aren't just aren't useful. This could be our window to win, as our opponent won't be drawing many more cards off of its Sadi. We can see 2 of their Sakurabrus, which means they might have the 3rd one. Perfectly fine, we're okay with that. field reinforcements just to draw another card. 2 mana is nothing to us. Found something that can block the Sakurabru. We are just aiming for Silas's though. Carries intervention. After you. I genuinely don't know if this game is winnable. For either of us. But I'm posting it. Cast a field reinforcements for free. Expeditions are not behind. Draw a card. Conjuring Seal is good. Mana card positive. If we play out the magical training and get a Silas, how many stats is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Draw a card. Magical training because it's free. How many cards are in here? Yep, that's fine. Draw a card, gain the boosts. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it'll be 6, 7, 8. At this point, I'm in it for science. I've got no idea what it is that we're doing. Get rid of the Chrysalis. I'm going to play first and get rid of that Eat Me energy bars. If they play another one, that's fine. Not sure how many they play. But we're going to do that anyway. Don't think we have any ways to deal with discarding permanents. But we will do what we can. -1 cards in the deck. Seems like a good time for a Conjuring Seal. And I feel like we're just going around in circles. Silas number 1 acquired. Magical training just as a way to cycle through, and we got a Conjuring Seal, which is good. Alright, 4 cards. Our opponent's got nothing else that they can do. This may have been our window. How many? 1, 2... Our opponents hit us with the "this game is boring." Anything important in there? Pass the turn. I'm going to hit him with, I have no idea how this happened. We shall put the magical training back in, draw the remaining 2 cards. I don't think they're that important, but we'll see. Anything short of Eat Me Energy Bars and Sakurabra here, we have a window to win the game. We will mana the Archivist, all of our defender creatures. How many? Let's see, 1. Count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All 5 of our defender creatures, plus the 2 chrysalises, have all made it into the mana zone. We don't have a Conjuring Seal, funnily enough. I think we'll play out the Silas, see what they want to do. Alright. I'm still going to take our window here while we've got it. I'm going to drop a Studious Disciples. Three. Oh, we've got enough. It's fine. We did it! We figured it out. Okay. We got there in the end. Old mate's starting to crash out a little bit. But we'll be fine. Oh, did I mess up? Oh, I've miscounted. That's embarrassing. Okay, maybe I won't post this one. It's fine. Yeah, should focus on the game. I should, that is. Oh well. We'll see what we can get done. We'll see if we post this one. Two hungers. I might just cut out a bunch of this at the end. We'll see how we go. If we get there. This one might just be for me. 7, 8. We did end up making it. Alright. Still a proof of concept, and I don't know if I can pass up the opportunity to post such a clowny game. There you go. Whew, we got there in the end. Alrighty. Finally made it. How many times did we advance? Maybe I'll go through and count. This is a mess. I'm here for it though. Alright. On to game 3, I guess. I'm going to take a break after that one. I need to go have a drink. Maybe a lie down. I'll see you soon. And we're back. Took a little break, because that last game really took it out of me. Also probably going to have to edit it. But it's time for game 3 for Akesha and Taru. Alright, 3 from 3. 3 Bravos lists for today. So, really nailing how to play these matchups. But 3 different heroes. Alright, what do we got going on here? 2 off you goes. Field reinforcements to help us draw. And an Eighth Shard. I think Eighth Shard will be better than Scholar's Vault here. And yeah, we'll go with this one. Not an ideal list. Not many 1-drops to be able to hit with the field reinforcements off of turn 1. But potentially a chance at a redraw. Alright. Opponent's using a 3-drop here, so we do get to get the value out of this one. And we'll draw. Alright, Archivist. We will be able to play that one next turn alongside the Off You Go. Won't be able to stop our opponent from drawing a card if they have a follow-up play to the Wingsuit Jumper next turn. But that's cool. Alright, Silas is good, Conjuring Seal's good, but I think we'll play slow, get rid of the Conjuring Seal, try and play around this guy. Should be a good matchup for our opponent. They're pretty much always going to be able to pass first. Right, no chance of winning with the Off You Go. 1, 2, 3, 4 cards for the Silas means that we would be able to block the Amarok if they don't have a follow-up. So I think we'll risk it. If they have anything, Tiny Jin would let them advance. But they pass and we actually get to take a lead here. Proving to us once again, Silas probably the best card in the list. Only one we're playing 3 of as well. Every other rare card we got going is a 2 of. Alright. So Nissa's good here. We can play her on the companion side and actually advance if we do get a chance. So we'll keep her around. We actually got a little bit of a control-y setup. We could take a 0 for 2 and get our Aether Shard into play. But if our opponent presents something, we might be able to block and rip it on the other side. Rushing to draw a card means we're going to get a bunch of information here. Alright, tough one makes our off you go a lot worse here. I'm actually inclined to just get the Aether Shard in play here when we know we can take it without losing a double. Alright, our opponent's quest counters are online, so we're going to have to think about that extra 2 power that they've got in there. We'll say bye to the Chrysalis. No Tooth Fairies means this Hydra's probably coming down at some point and being a bit of a threat. And we do have no answers to those in the deck. 6 mana means we can't actually tango with that anymore as well. So I think we'll just take our After You and see what our opponent wants to do here. Swift Gin to ramp, gonna help out with the Hydra. Alright, free 2 power. No stats on the hero card is interesting to see. But we've got plenty of time to see what the next one will be in this game. Ah, the Amarok sacrificed the Halua there. Interesting, but we'll take that. Got another cheeky little shot with our Disciple here. Hopefully the Off You Go, even if it costs 3 to discard something of 3, will be suitable. Sinissa, definitely going to be worse than Silas here. Our opponent's keeping up with our card draw relatively well. I think the only thing they've drawn off is the Wingsuit Jumper, resupplied with the Parliament of Ashes. I think this is too much removal considering we've got nothing to get rid of. That's Parliament as well. So, we'll try it like this. Okay, so we could use the Studious Disciple, reduce the cost of Off You Go. Still costs us 2 because it'll be paying for the tough 1 here to get rid of her. But we'll play the Silas against Eros and see what our opponent wants to do. Alright, given the fact that we can't actually block them because of the little token guy, I think we'll play the Baba Yaga out on the same side and make sure that they don't advance there. Celebration Day acquired here. So if things start to look real hairy for us, we actually do have a way to just block that off. If our opponent gets rid of the Hydra, to be able to drop Eros, Jumper, rush something to draw a card. So that's probably their plan. We've got 3 looks at Tooth Fairy to get rid of something. And I think we will decide to keep up if we can here. Not going to be playing the Scholar's Vault. But we do have After You available as well. And the Silas is actually a good pickup here too. The fact that we've got the Silas means we can pressure their draw spell here. Make sure that we're leveraging our card advantage. And if they want to play the Eros, at least we know that what it is that we're working through. So they can play up to a 5-drop here. Alright, just a plain old Shenlong. I believe we've got the mana to be able to block them off. Alright, so what I'm seeing is that Bravos is a pretty good matchup for us. 6, so it'll be 6 power. Alright, I've flubbed this just a little bit. Alright, this turn's gone a little bit hairy, but we did get an Archivist to be able to block with, which we like. I think we just ripped through more of our deck. We're okay giving up 1 Expedition here. 2 would have been a little bit hairy. Fury acquired, first appearance of that card. 6 cards in discard as well. And keep the training around just in case. 9 mana means Silas Conjuring Seal is available to us, not in that order. But that's what we're going to look to do. Chrysalis, Sunissa. 1 mana short of casting that alongside our Silas. So they're just going to want to get that to be able to ramp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Alright, no way to be able to get Silas large enough to beat the Shenlong here. So I guess we'll drop the Disciple. To get it into play. And then the Silas as well. The good thing about this deck is that we don't really care about how many cards go into reserve, because we're drawing so many. They are feeling the need to draw the card. So if we get the second copy of Tooth Fairy here, we've got an opportunity to stop them from ramping. And we're likely looking at putting a Fury into the mana zone. Silas number 3, good pickup. Happy with that one. I believe we do get an opportunity to look for that Tooth Fairy. 1 in 6. Alright, slightly awkward in that we've got no 2-drop except the Chrysalis to be able to play. We'll see if our opponent drops the Djinn off the rip. If they don't, our plan will be to Tooth Fairy Silas here. If they do use it, probably just drop the After You, because we have no other options. See what they want to do with their mana. Alright, Shenlong, just the basic version. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So, Silas is big enough, plus the extra boost. Call an ambulance, but not for me. And there we go. No big over the top looking lock situation with this game, which I'm pretty happy with. Not sure I could have sat down for another one of those, but yeah, there you go. Gonna have to try this deck out once more with against people that aren't playing red though, I think. In my testing. We'll go through all of that actually in the in the debrief, but in my testing, other matchups were pretty poor. So I think we've gotten a little bit lucky for today, but I'll take it. Winning's nice. Alright, see you in a minute. And there you have it, 3 games done with Akesha and Taru, 3 games against Bravos Heroes and 3 wins. Would have been nice to play against a bit more of a varied field, because I still have those looming concerns about the lower to the ground tempo decks than the ones that were presented in the video. Sort of just winning 0 for 2s all over the place before you can get your engines set up and, sort of beat around the removal that you are playing. And that's okay. That'll be for the next video. Spoke about it throughout those games, but I think this is too many defender creatures to play. The Sinissa was surprisingly good as a way to sneakily catch up where she was playable, but I don't know if she needs all the support from the Chrysalises and the Monolith Archivists if we're only playing 2 of her. So that might be a spot that we'll look at, and throughout the games it was sort of obvious that we had no real ways to deal with other permanent based or larger creature based win conditions. So the other places I'm looking at would probably be cutting the Sakurabru's Fury and the Evanescence for something like a Banishing Gate. Unconditional removal might be useful in those situations where you do actually get to the end game and you don't have to worry about paying the extra mana because you have 12 or 15 available. We might try and look through that here, but before we do, just want to apologise to my opponent in Game 2. Gil, if there's any chance that you ever see this, or if not, I suppose, just know I truly apologise from the bottom of my heart. Definitely missed lethal a few times there. I actually went back and reviewed the game because I had to cut a bunch of the dead space and the silence out of it. And I've seen a couple. Obviously there was the big old flub right in the middle there where I miscounted, didn't sequence my cards properly and didn't get enough boosts on the Silas. That probably would have locked the game out and ended it about 20 minutes early, and we had to scramble to find another one. Definitely put us on tilt. But there's a couple of others there as well. Sort of maybe getting a little bit too hyper focused on what it is that we've got in hand, even though we've got options to draw cards. And at least one more. But I suppose that's a bit of a Where's Wally situation. Let me know in the comments if you see it, because I definitely played that game horribly. Definitely a good one to review, but I don't know if it's worth a video. I'm not going to make you sit through it a second time, as it were. Alright, let's take a couple of minutes. We'll cut down on the Sakurabru's Fury and the Evanescence. I actually like Conjuring Seal. Go away. What are you doing there? I like the Conjuring Seal, and I think that's worth a 3rd slot. Scholar's Vault wasn't that interesting either. So we've got ourselves, two common spots to fill in. And I think the Chrysalises were a bit stinky too. And the Archivists. So we'll cut down to none on that one. So we've got... Update, please. There you go. 3 rare slots and... What is that? 5 common slots to fill in. So let's go through and have a look at a couple of these things. I actually think Pasiphae might be one that I'm looking at putting into the deck. We obviously talked about Banishing Gate. I'll get rid of the character filter there. How many is that? So we're 1 short here, and then we've got to try and find 3 more rare spots. Yeah, Pasiphae I think will be good. With the After You that we have available, we should have a way. Actually, let's play her at the... Let's play her at rare. That can take up our rare spots. So that will replace the Monolith Archivist with her, just as a way to get heaps of power on the board if we want to try and contest our opponent a little bit earlier. Got 2 banishing gates. Actually no other spots, so we've got to try and find another card. Alright, get rid of that. Change the filter to just be commons. We've got to look for one more card in here. Rime Frosts could have play. Don't really like playing those if we don't have the Neelam to back it up. But that could be another option, just play out the Neelams. But we are replacing a couple of flex slots here. Maybe this is a spot for Baku. Or Alice, yeah. More after you sounds good. Having access to that one might be a good idea as well. And there you go. Slightly rejigged, down on the Sakurabara's Fury. I did enjoy that card, but I think it's not necessary if we're looking at the celebration days quite as much, but it's a good little emergency button. And there you go. That is our updated list. 2 Sinisses. Let's get rid of that one. I'll actually update 3rd Aether Shard. There you go. We're good. Not much else to talk about. Other than that, we've had a little bit of a rebuild. We'll see how this one goes next time. Maybe I'll touch it up. Maybe not. I suppose there's only one thing left to say. Everybody wants to know what I'd do if I didn't win. I guess we'll never know.